Welcome to Service Six Sigma, and you are here early. So what we're doing, we just go live around 10 minutes before the hour, and that gives the algorithms a chance for YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to let people know that we are live with service6sigma.com. And we will have a different guest every day, and we have a lot of fun, and we've got a whole lot of history of all the live streams in the service6sigma.com page. So hang around. We try and make this 10 minutes interesting. Hang around till the hour. If you are in replay, fast forward until you see that the scenery has changed, and that will be us starting with the guest. Okay, see you then.
Ben here with Epic Exterior Services and president and co-founder of Service Six Sigma. Welcome to today's show, Service Six Sigma. Today is going to be a great show, and we want to thank you for hopping on early at 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time is when we go live every day. But you are here early, so we go about 10 minutes early before the show starts, just so that Facebook, YouTube can do its thing in the background. But comment down below where you're at, where you're watching from, if you're in the United States or whatever, what state you're from. So comment down below to let us know where you're watching it from. And if you are on the job site and watching or listening to us in your ears or whatever, or headphones, comment down below. Let us know what you're doing, what type of job you're doing, window cleaning or pressure washing or whatever. Let us know how the job is going. We always want to hear how our viewers are doing. We also want you to upload your TikToks or Instagram Reels or any videos you produce. We would love to play them during this 10 minutes to show people what you're doing out on the job site. So we always want to share what our viewers are doing out in the field. Anyways, stay tuned in and stand by till our show starts. Have an epic day.
Constructor brush is as fast as a squeegee, and it does the same job. However, with a constructor brush, there is no mop, there is no scrim, and there's no ledger. That's it. So you're multiples times faster, and you've got an amazing clean. That's why when you're switching to water fed, you want to switch to Reach It, because Reach It is focused on getting you cleaning windows faster, better, safer.
Bada boom.
Boom! And we're live. And our guest today is Brian from Boise, Idaho. Brian from Poor Man Window Cleaning. And we're going to have an amazing, amazing time. You might want to put a bit of light on your face, Brian, or upload something there so we can actually see that you are genuinely there. There he is. Okay, so just for 1 minute, I'm going to quickly go over what is Service Six Sigma. Service Six Sigma is a free live stream broadcast and podcast for, there goes my 9 o'clock. And it is for the service industry. So not just the window cleaning and pressure washing and all that, but it'll go across. We'll have guests from carpet cleaning and roof cleaning and electricians and all sorts of service people, because we're trying to find the gems of what people do in different industries that we can translate across or cross-pollinate into our industry and learn something. The Six Sigma is a business term. Six Sigma means the perfecting of processes by the elimination of error until you get to perfect. So the airline industry and the nuclear industry are typically called Six Sigma industries. And that's what we're trying to do is, introduce new people all the time, and different people have mastered different things. And then you'll be able to apply those things to your business, if they're relevant. And then we've broken the business down into 6 sectors. Right, so I'm going to go through those really quickly. The first is 4. We have the acronym ACDC. ACDC, Stairway to Heaven. That's how you're going to remember it. Attract, convert, deliver, control. Attract a customer, that's your influencer, your social media. Convert the customer is the sales process. Deliver is tools and technique and safety and on-site things. And then control is your systems and processes, your admin, your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, your training manuals, your training regimes, and all those sorts of things. Having got those 4 together, you can then scale your business. So that's when you go to multiple vehicles. Once you've gone to multiple vehicles, or wherever you want to be, whatever the destination is, you're then empowered. So our 6th sector is give back. Now, we have Brian here as our guest, and actually, he is a big give back guy. So let's, with no further ado, let's introduce Brian Hoyt from Boise, Idaho, from Poor Man Window Cleaning. How are you, champ?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me tonight.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing time. We named this podcast Poor No More, but actually there was a time when you were poor, right? So do you want to fire away with how this name for your business came and how it's evolved?
Yeah, I'm happy to share this story. Back in June of 2001, someone left me unconscious on the side of the road in a hit and run motorcycle wreck. I lost my career in IT. I lost my savings. I lost a photographic memory. I was messed up. Fast forward a little ways to July of 2002. I have an eviction notice from our apartment. I have turned my BMW into the bank. I'm waiting on Italy to make parts for my Ducati. I am 2 weeks out of a full shoulder surgery. I'm in an isolation brace, a neck brace, and a morphine pump surgically implanted in my shoulder. I call up one of my buddies and I say, "Hey, will you come over and shake my couch out for me?" He laughs. He comes over. He shakes my couch out. I grab all of the change off the floor and ask him to run me to a dollar store. I buy a bottle of awesome window cleaner, the cheap stuff, and a roll of paper towels. I also buy an empty squirt bottle so I can water down the LA Awesome window cleaner. The next day, I shoved my sling just full of paper towels, and I hooked the bottle of window cleaner on my belt hoop, and I start walking down the road, going business to business, just simply stating, "Hello, my name's Brian. I'm poor. I'm hungry. I'd really like to eat tonight. May I clean your windows?" After 3 days, I got someone to say yes. And I mean, I do not blame people for saying no. This weirdo in a neck brace, an arm sling, limping, is coming and asking you, "Hey, can I clean your windows with this squirt bottle and paper towels?" I mean, that's like the guy on the corner cleaning your windshield. But 3 days later, I got someone to say yes. It was a small storefront. I had gone to the library. I had looked up the Orion Blue Book. I knew my pricing. I had researched nationally. And I knew that this storefront in '02 should have been about $15. It took me 3 hours. I'm on a step
paper
stool,
towels,
right? Step stool, sling, morphine, neck brace, can't turn, hard brace, right? Squirt, 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 paper toweling these windows. And I mean, they were probably 12 foot, what is that, about 4 meter windows, right? By about 2.5 feet wide. I don't know what that is in metric. I'm American.
Yeah, no, you're good.
But I get done, and there's a department store next door. I go over, I buy a case of ramen noodles, some assorted creamy soups so that I can make the ramen noodles taste better, and a 4-pack of Angel Soft toilet paper that was on sale because, I mean, it's a little bit crass, but I was very sore and tired of napkins I'd been stealing from Jack in the Box and McDonald's for the restroom. So I'm coming out of this parking lot, and I'm just limping, getting ready to walk back to my apartment. And I hear somebody shout, "Hey, poor man. Hey, poor man." I'm like, who the hell is that? And why is he calling after someone? And after a couple times, I turn and I look, and he says, "Yeah, are you going to be back next month to do my windows?" And that's where poor man window cleaning comes from.
Wow. Wow. How many people ask you, why do you call yourself poor man window cleaning?
It is daily. It is daily. It's almost as much as people ask me why my logo has a headphone, and it's because we wear headphones. We're here to work, not talk.
Right. You don't wear a muzzle.
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm getting old. I might need one.
That is amazing. And then, that's your van that you've got the brush
That's
up
one
against?
of our vans. Yes, that's one of our vans.
How many vans have you got then?
2. We're hoping to expand to 3 this year.
So you are poor no more. Trying. Great. Okay, so how did you, when you look at the Service Six Sigma, the 6 sectors, attracting a customer, converting the customer, delivering the service, controlling, and then scaling, where you go to the second van and then to the third van. Which one of these topics you think, poor man window cleaner has got the most interesting story, what's just resonated with you, or things you drew in from your IT industry that was completely unique to the way you did business or whatever? From the IT industry, now I was a fancy geek. I mean, I was. We were doing stuff. You had a BMW. Yeah. So what I learned, the biggest thing I learned through all of this is no kid in their 20s needs to be making 6 figures in 90s money. That's the lesson walking away from this. You don't need that much money when you're young because you do stupid things like buy a Ducati and a BMW. Yeah. But exactly. As things that helped me, 2 major ones. One, it doesn't matter what you know, it's what you know how to learn and where to look for it. 2, backups to backups, because you are going to have failures, and sometimes your second string is also going to fail. So you need to have a backup to a backup, and you need to know where to find what you need to know. Okay, so that's like in the in the construction industry, they say 2 is 1 and 1 is none.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
2 is 1 and 1 is none. So we get sometimes, because as you know, like we make the reach it and the radial products, and we get sometimes guys ring up and say, can you do overnight? And we go, well, actually, we don't think we attract those customers that need overnight, because the customers that we attract normally have redundancy. They don't have one of anything, because we attract the top shelf type guys because of that kind of thinking. So but then sometimes we get somebody who comes from that, and you go, you haven't really worked out this 2 is 1, 1 is none, or you need redundancy, or you need backup, because the one day in the field is what, $500-600 in Boise per truck, something like that.
We try to be closer to $800 to $1,200, but yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's good. That's great money. But if you have a down half day, that's real money. Like somebody goes, oh, your brushes are $200, they're really expensive or something. Go, like, do you know, like, not that the brushes are the problem, but but that logic is, like you've got to have your redundancy, isn't it? So
yes. So
which things do you back up the most? What's your call?
Okay, well, the main reason we're getting ready to acquire a third vehicle is that we have a backup to 2 full-time rigs.
Wow, nice.
We have a backup to our pressure washer system. So we have 2 trailers. That way, if one goes down, boom, we go right back out and we keep working. Because another thing a lot of people don't realize, you may go back and finish that job 5 hours later, but that's 5 hours or $500 that you just lost because you didn't have a $200 brush sitting there.
Yep.
It
or a $4,000 trailer. Or a $4,000 trailer. We can use a $4,000 trailer, and that's 8 half days in a year that something can go wrong, and you break even on a $4,000 trailer.
Yes.
Right.
So you have to have your backups. Yeah. It doesn't. So we have we like your poles. We have 2 of your 45ers, 2 of the shorties. We also have backups with them, other manufacturers, Yep. And good. We usually have 3 to 5 different brushes at all times on our heads, on our vans, each one with their own swivel on them, each one ready to just quick clip off, clip on, and up the wire hose back in. No messing around. It's, that brush isn't working. I don't want to spend 5 minutes on it. I want it to be that simple. So if you don't have your backups and your systems, really, because without a system, you don't know what your backup is.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's your systems and process. Are you still in the field, Brian? Are you still on the tools?
Yeah, I was actually one of those guys who was the stay small, keep it all mentality, and was doing really well, with just a part-time helper. And quite comfortable, planning on maybe doing that another 12, 15 years and then retiring. My body decided otherwise. In the last 4 years, I've had 5 major surgeries and 2 neurological disorders. So I am now reverse engineering from a successful solopreneur who had, I mean, honestly, I was kicked out of our local college here for business management in my first semester. So I have no formal business education. I just started doing this. The only reason I thought about window cleaning, when I was a little kid, there used to be travelers who would come through, and they were in, I can't remember the name of the brand, right? The Airstream stainless steel campers, and it was called the Good Samaritans, and they would come through and park, and they would only spend 50-cent pieces, dollar coins, and $2 bills So when I was a kid, like 7, 8 years old, I would sneak out with our bottle of window cleaner and a roll of paper towels. And I would go and ask them if I could clean the windows on their RVs for them. And, you know, I would make good money for a kid back then, $2 bills for 10 minutes.
Wow.
Down some windows. That was real good money in the 80s and 70s.
Yeah.
So that's where the window cleaning comes from for me.
But and it's also interesting. You kept your brand. I'm just going to go to the attract thing, you know, because you've kept your brand Poor Man Window Cleaning, but actually you provide more services than window cleaning. But you're still attracting the customers under Poor Man Window Cleaning.
Oh yes, we are. We are. You know, you can't proffer poor in gold leaf. And
say that again.
You cannot proffer poor in gold leaf. Right. So we haven't done any rebranding, any remarketing at 2 decades. Why do that to yourself?
Yeah.
People know who we are at this point in time. If they check out our website, if they check out our social media, it's real clear what and who Poor Man Window Cleaning is.
Yeah. And Ben told me, and I you know, I'll try and just sort of enter into this because, you know, the sixth sector is give back. And Ben said that you really, because you came from nothing, you understand very clearly what it means to come from nothing. And then you've built I don't know how to say it, but a regime of being a community giver. Like, do you want to like touch on that?
Yeah. As a member of a community, you have to give back to your community. As a business owner, what you do to support your community is the avatar of your business. What are you doing to make your clients realize that they are working with somebody ethical, somebody who cares about the same things they care about? And I do. I come from poor, not just the humble beginnings of Poor Man, but I come from dirt poor. I was raised in faith healing cult, oldest of 9 kids, dirt poor. I mean, when I was a little kid, we would run extension cords at night over to trailer houses so that we could have some power. We would hook up to other people's garden hoses so that we could fill up buckets so that we could flush our toilets with that water. I grew up poor. And to me, I want to be what I never had. I want to be somebody out there helping and taking care of other people. And I believe that needs to be done at not just your networking level, you're trying to go out there and give and get marketing, but also from a grassroots, you're out there with your hands supporting your community. We do everything from giving vouchers for silent auctions to charities, to schools, giving corporate partnerships with the Wasmuth Human Rights Society. We have a local place here called Camp Rainbow Gold that does cancer kids camps. They have an oncology ward. They bought an old ski resort. We go up every spring before their campers come and we clean all their cabin windows, all their office windows, as well as take care of their office in Boise. We give back. I was a hellion. I was exactly what you think coming from a trailer park and poor when I was a little kid. So I also give back to my elementary school. Every year we call them up and we ask them, hey, what do your students need? Oh, this year you need 100 pair of girls' panties and you need 50 backpacks. All right, we got you covered. This last year they needed 100 bottles of shampoo and conditioner, 100 bars of soap, and just stuff to give to poor kids that their parents don't even have money for that. We do that, but then we also, every Saturday, there's a place in our downtown that has a area for the homeless to go and get a weekly shower on Saturdays, a little bit of medical attention. A doctor is there for them to talk to while they're doing the shower time. It has a warming station and a cooling station in the summer. And we go there every Saturday and we make about 6 gallons of soup I actually, those big turkey fryers. I go out
Yep.
in my driveway because nobody wants to make the wife unhappy, and making
No.
6 gallons of soup is not something you want to do in your wife's kitchen. So I make it outside in
Right.
a turkey fryer. And then I go
Wow.
down and I serve soup to the local homeless community.
Wow. I mean, that's incredibly, that's a lot of activity, right? There's real time in that.
That's what makes me happy. That's what gives me. So
Mm.
with all of I've come down with a couple of rare genetic issues, Meniere's disorder, vestibular migraines. Both my bicep tendons died. My C5, C6 vertebrae started growing inward around my spine. I had a 57% compression. So I was getting very depressed because I am not who I know I am. My
Mm.
body cannot do what I
Wow.
know I can
Wow.
do. And this is just over the last 4 years. I still have long COVID. I'm 4 years into long COVID this year. You hear me running out of breath talking. That's my long COVID. My rosy glasses. It's not just to make everything look happy and pretty to me anymore. It's I cannot look at a computer screen without these rosy glasses because there's certain frequencies of light. If I didn't have these on right now, I would be wobbling like a drunk man. And even with
Wow.
them, I can only do about an hour and a half max of any sort of
Yep.
screen time. So
Yeah.
I was getting very, very depressed. And all of my doctors said, "Hey, Brian, are you okay?" And I look at him and I just simply say, "Come on, show me anybody in my situation who would have a smile on their face. Show me somebody who would say, yeah, I am so happy I'm having my second neck surgery this year. I'm so glad you're cutting my spine open. Let's go. Hurrah." It doesn't happen. So you have to find something in order for change to happen. You have to be the change. So
Nice.
for me, I can make soup. And that gives me a value and a worth that no job I have ever done gives me. Being able to talk to those people, seeing them week after week, hearing their stories, talking to people who are there between their 3 jobs, grabbing a bowl of soup and still can't get a place to live. That
Wow.
gives me a self-worth and value that I was missing. So it's really as
Amazing.
selfish as it is selfless.
But I love that. I love that you recognize that. That's a very interesting thing because I've talked to Ben. Is that if you evolve to the point that you realize that everything is somewhat selfish, is that I like me best when I do this. I like me best when I'm with this person. Like you get married. You should like yourself best when you're with that woman, or and when you have people that work for you. I like myself best when I'm leading these people, and they like themselves best when they're with you. There's a selfishness in it, but there's only one person in your life, right? So you shouldn't
Yeah,
feel
there is.
less that you want to feel amazing, the best you can feel. This is it, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you have the love of the life next to you. At the end of the day, the only thing you really have are the thoughts going on in your head as they fall asleep and you fall asleep.
There you
If
go.
you're not a little bit selfish with those thoughts, you're not going to have a good life.
Yeah, very much. Hey, Brian, when you got that level of depression, did they want to medicate you or did they medicate you?
To medicate me. They did want to medicate me. I have been on several medications over the years from the brain damage that I had from my motorcycle wreck and everything. And I have really bad PTSD and trauma from a bad youth. So my brain isn't wired like most people's.
Mm-hmm.
So the medicines don't work for me. What works for me is physical activity, which is limited. I mean, I can curl 5 pounds with my right arm and 3 with my left. That's it. It's just
Wow.
my world these days. There's
Yep.
nothing about it. And they told me, don't expect it to get much better. So I have to find something that allows me to feel like I am still part of the community and supporting the community, not just a robber baron with poor man window cleaning, taking people's money.
Yeah, aren't you good? Aren't you good? Hey, I don't know if you, who's the guy who married Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
Harrison
he's
Ford?
older.
No,
No,
not
that
Harrison
wasn't
Ford. The
Harrison
other guy.
Ford. No.
The other guy. And
I know who
his
you're
dad was
talking
the
about.
king of Hollywood. His dad
Yes.
was the king of Hollywood. And he made a movie with his dad, and his dad had a stroke, and he made a movie with his dad as a stroke victim. Who's that?
I cannot recall.
The king of Hollywood. Anyway, it'll come to me. Anyway, so just in the relevance of this, because he said when he had a stroke, he got very depressed, right? And he concluded that depression, and I'm not talking about all depression, I'm just talking about the concept of depression, that depression is narcissism, right? You get very narcissistic, poor me, like, not, you know what I mean? And that the cure, so that's the controversial part. The cure to narcissism and self-pity and let's say non-clinical, because I don't want to put down the people that have got a chemical disorder
Imbalance, yeah.
Right, an imbalance. Or I'm not trying to talk about those, but the people who are feeling depression, and I've also have a very troubled childhood, so I've also been through some really troubled times. And but the cure is to give to someone, do something for somebody else. That immediately and instantly breaks narcissism, self-pity, self-absorption, self-orientation, and it's completely different to selfish, because you're actually doing it for yourself. It's you're giving. So I say sometimes Harrison would ring me up. Harrison's my son. He'll say, "Oh my God, I'm so pissed. This hasn't happened and that hasn't happened. Now he's got to go and have a wrist operation because he damaged it in the rugby and all that." And I go, "Dude, the next time you're in 7-Eleven, just pay the bill for the person behind you, or in a drive-through. You don't have to know anybody. You're not looking for any appreciation. You could do it remotely. You can do it whatever. Even that, you will immediately snap out of a non-clinical depression immediately."
Yes.
Amazing. But you've gone to the other level. You've gone way beyond that, where you're actually managing, a whole lot of stuff that's complex as crazy, and it works, right? Getting back is incredibly powerful.
It so works. As long as you are giving it without expectation of a return.
Yes.
If you ever are doing it because, I want to go out and do it because maybe the news channel is going to catch me, that is totally the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Remember the Occupy Wall Street days? When people were camping out at city councils and camping out on public lands outside capitals and stuff. I used to have these banners that I had made, and they said, "Poor man window cleaning. We do work for food," quotations, then my phone number and website, and I would put them on my extension poles. And I would go out and stand in front of those encampments holding my signs. That was pure selfish.
Right.
There was no giving back there, but it was also a political statement because, again, the face of poor man is going to be who I want to attract as clients. And I don't want Occupy Wall Street clients. So I was out there telling them I disagree with this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. I want to ask you one question. I want to go back to the IT days, and you had the BMW. Because I think that you've evolved really, really incredibly as a human being through a traumatized human experience. There's a saying, we're not a human being having a spiritual experience. We're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Yes. So, nurture versus nature.
Yes, yes. And so deeply in this, you said that when you were the IT guy, you had the BMW and you had to, hand it back because you couldn't make the payments or whatever, got repossessed or you handed it back in.
Yes.
What? So I'm not particularly materialistic. I monuments to myself and things to show off to other people. I just doesn't, I got one bed, one toilet, one watch, one motorbike, one, maybe two, but one dirt bike, one road bike. You know what I mean? I'm very much just wired that way. Because I also, came from nothing and then raised a family working really hard to make sure that, they got the best life they could get and all that. And, but I want to ask you this question. What, for the young people, when they want to go and get that BMW, what does it actually mean compared to what they think it means?
Okay, now I'm a little bit different. So I wasn't buying it as a status symbol. I was buying it because I liked performance and horsepower. What that BMW means is your wallet is going to be thin every single month. What that Ducati means is that you're going to have that Ducati sitting in your garage instead of going out and enjoying a nice dinner with friends or family. Unless you have enough expendable income that it's not a concern, there is absolutely no point in buying that BMW or anything fancy. I had the money at the time. When I didn't have the money, I got rid of it. Would I ever have a BMW again? No. I wouldn't. I have no desire to. They don't enhance your life. They don't enhance your character, and they don't really do much at a street legal speed better than anything else on the market.
Yes, I feel this because I have a philosophy which is very, 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 very powerful, and that is that the future is an imagination. So for example, 6 weeks ago, I had paid for a 3-day liveaboard with Harrison, my older son, Ollie, my younger son, and me to go to the Similan Islands, and we're going to go scuba diving, for 11 dives in 3 days. Yeah. So I've got this plan for the future, which we all want to become real. But then I took Ollie out for some motocross training, and he fell over off the bike, or the bike fell over, or whatever, and then he broke his leg. So now my reality and my imagination are completely different things. So when we talk about somebody saying, if you've got the disposable income, I think that we've got to extend that and say, if you are certain that you've got the disposable income in the future, because when you were doing the IT, your reality was you had the disposable income.
Yes.
When you had your motorcycle wreck, your reality and your imagination about the future, about your disposable income capabilities and all of that all changed so instantly. So I think, because businesses can rise and fall, and right now the world is actually in a very traumatized state financially, $33.5 trillion debt on one side of the globe. No, not much debt on other parts of the world, right? So there's a big geopolitical shift going on right now, and that could end up with Bitcoin's just gone up 50% in a week, and gold's cracking up 5%, and so there's some changes that are happening. And so you could imagine if somebody was going out to buy a BMW tomorrow because they're having an amazing time and their business is great today, you don't actually know what next year's income is yet.
No, no.
So I think if you've got enough to put down, let's say you bought it new, so you're going to lose 30% as you walk out the door, then you should be able to put your deposit down for the difference between the new price and the secondhand price on a fire sale, and you put that down and you finance. So that, as you said, I ran out of money, I cashed it in. Yeah, you cashed it in for what you owed on it. That's clean, But if you can't put whatever you're going to lose on it, I think you've got to put that down as your deposit. And the same with the home loans, because, home loans were out at 1.5%. The next time you refinance, it might be 5.5, 6.5. So your home loan's going to go times 4. And if you've bought multiple houses because the interest rates were low, then you've got, no matter what you do,
And your
almost
property taxes are going to change every year. And you got to understand that it may not be a fixed expense. And personally, I would rather buy a memory with my sweat than an object. And I made some memories with that Ducati and that BMW. I made some memories.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Well, I've got, I've got 2 BMWs in Vietnam that are still there. I don't live in Vietnam now.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I know. I'm also agreeing with you.
If I hadn't put enough money down on that BMW, I wouldn't have been able to turn it over to the bank and let them take it and not owe.
Yeah.
So,
I paid cash for my 2 BMWs so that my son and my friends could come over to Vietnam, and Vietnam's one of the greatest motorcycle riding countries. The landscapes, the views, the roads are insanely crazy. So you're as sharp as a tack, and it's just an exhilarating experience and exhausting, mentally, physically, not physically, but mentally, just amazing experience. So,
it is physically. You're tense. It is.
Yeah. But we're strong. But the thing is, I bought them secondhand. I paid cash for them. They're still there. My mate will sell them one day, or he'll put them back in the fleet, for whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you can still have a lot of toys without putting yourself in debt for the toys. And I think that's something which old people who have been through poverty, like had traumatic experiences with money, I don't even know whether anybody will believe us that that's the right advice, but
I know, but it is what people who have been through it. You are not the first person I've talked to who has had similar happenings that feel the same way. My personal mentor, boy, when we finally broke ways, he had been in Vietnam, the war, the conflict. But when he came back, he bought a bunch of Sherwin-Williams stock in 72 that split. He bought like 1,000 shares in 72 that by the time him and I split ways had split 18 times, and it was at $52 a share. And he drove a Honda CRV that he paid cash for. He lived in a 72,800 square foot house. And I mean, he had millions that sat on his millions.
Wow.
But he didn't care. He also came from a very, very poor childhood, very traumatic youth. Yes. So it does make a difference. Having hardship makes you a different person.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I'm going to hand over to Ben while I duck away for a second. Okay. I know you guys know each other real good. So Ben, you take it away.
Yeah, for sure. How's it going, Brian?
Good, Ben. Love what you're doing, man. You're doing well.
Yeah. It's always nice seeing you on the road and honking at each other. Hey, what's going on? Well, from what time, so obviously you had your accident, you were shaking out your couch and everything. From what point to what point did you see your progression when you started seeing the future in poor man window cleaning?
It was my first 6 months.
Wow.
It just was. I have drive and determination and my 2 best friends, brute force and ignorance, arm in arm with me at all times. So I just barrel through it. I knew I wasn't going to work for somebody again because my temperament just didn't suit it anymore. And I prefer working for myself.
Oh, I do too.
Even when I was in IT, I was remote, even like back in the 90s and early 2000s. I didn't spend much time in the office because I didn't like going to the office.
Yeah.
Now I go to a bunch of offices.
Your story and my story, in a way, it's kind of similar into a certain capacity. I'm not sure if you know this, but I was working at a hospital, St. Luke's,
Okay.
as in their IT department. So I was actually going to go into the career out of high school into IT. So with your IT background, my IT background, it's like, oh my gosh, that's super similar. And then I didn't go to college or anything. I have no business background. Now, I feel comfortable sharing this because I think it's also a learning experience for other business owners or business owners that are trying to get into the business. So I'm on the autism spectrum. So I tend to hyper focus in things and get things done. So if I have a drive for something, which for you and I, sometimes we have slow months and slow business, but if I can hyper focus and go door to door, put out door hangers, get the business, then I can, man, that stupid thumbs up is keep on coming up. Um, oh, look at that. Balloons.
Look at that.
Hurrah.
Ollie was teaching me them all last night. Okay, back to you.
Anyways, but it's cool to see
It
your
really
story
is. And if you think about it, we're still cleaning windows.
oh yeah.
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 just hardware instead of software.
I love the progression from window cleaning to exterior services. I think it's another conversation because Ben has seriously done that, haven't you? Like you've got really good equipment, in pressure washing, and I think that's also another thing. When we talk, let's say our natural market might be window cleaners in this at the beginning of this live stream, but that encouragement, that program, you know what I'm trying to say, the step to getting yourself a good pressure washer seems to be a very worthwhile progression. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Our tagline is leaving them wet since '02. I I full-heartedly thought I was absolutely brilliant and figured out
I love
how
that
these
slogan.
people were doing the water-fed systems, right? It wasn't what they were moving from the water. I realized it had to be a rinse agent, like for your dishwasher. So at my apartment, I pulled my dishwasher out, set it out on the rear deck, hooked up water barrels. So one for draining, one for pulling. I looked at my rinse agent, figured out how many ounces went in there, and then I ran it until it was out of rinse agent. Then I did my math and figured out how much rinse agent is needed per gallon of water so that I can go out and use my pressure washer, just turn my unloader valve down to nothing. So there's just a stream coming out of it, right? Rinse the windows, scrub them with a T-bar, and then rinse them and walk away, right? That had to be the solution.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. That was a god-awful mistake. I was driving down Fairview Avenue, Fairview in Milwaukee. So it's a 5-lane, 2 lanes each direction, center lane. I'm driving and people are honking and flipping me off and genuinely pissed at me. And I'm like, what the hell? I looked in my side mirrors and my 275-gallon tote was making a foam party all the way across the road. So I didn't have a lid on my tote, right? So sloshing, foam, bed in my truck, just foam party everywhere.
Oh,
so
that's
they were genuinely unhappy with me, and deservedly so. But that made me think,
just tell them that you're trying to clean the road.
What do those windows I just cleaned look like? And I went back, and they looked like heat-treated titanium, just rainbows with rinse-aid detergent. So I did learn how not to water-fed.
That is hilarious.
When did you start learning the process of water-fed with the reverse osmosis? Because I remember seeing something on your post a while ago that you used to go through a water filtration system here in Boise. Is that true?
Yes, there used to be a company here, and his dad had owned the Culligan water processing license.
Yeah, Culligan's,
Yeah, well, his dad had owned the license in 6 Western states. And
Wow.
he was just bored. So, yeah, big money. So he set up this little warehouse in nasty neighborhood, and he doesn't like the IRS or taxes, so everything was donation. He had a plexiglass wall, and you just slid your money in for however many gallons you bought. And he had a 2-inch cam lock, so you could just hook up your hose to the cam lock, turn it on, and it filled your tank at 30 gallons per minute.
Wow.
He went out of
Brilliant.
business, so now I have my own solar powered systems on my vans, but
That's
Great.
wonderful.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Wow,
Now, Brian,
what a journey. What a journey. Eh?
yeah.
So let's see if we can translate this into advice. I want to go back to the give back because I think you're probably the person that from the give back sector, I don't think we're going to find anybody like you for a long time, who just is so naturally. I think the first thing I want to sort of initiate is this concept of, when should you start giving back? Like we've left it as the sixth sector, but secretly inside, I think that the give back should start at the beginning. If you can't give from a little, what makes you think you're going to give from a lot? Because you're going to get more greedy. The risk is you'll become more greedy as you get more, not more giving as you get more. What do you reckon?
I completely agree with you. I mean, look at any huge corporation, look at any large entity. They are all about what can they do for themselves. Unless you go, we are a service industry, period. We are
Yep.
in servitude to our community and our clients. Unless you are giving back from the beginning, why do you deserve to be given to?
Nice. That's a very nice karmic concept. Is allow, whether we talk about God or the universe or whatever, but allow the universe to flow. Let it flow through you. Flows through you, and it can flow to you. Kind of a bit Buddhist or whatever, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah, I agree though.
the logic is right. The logic is right. Yeah. I mean, it's do unto others as you'd have done unto yourself, but not in a because I want it done unto myself mentality. Yeah.
Exactly. It's because it's the right thing to do.
Wow. There you go. Just okay. Who said that? Just do the right thing. Roger Waters. Do you know Roger Waters, Pink Floyd?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Right. So his mum said, when you're in trouble, Roger, read, read, and read. So he went away and read, and he came back and said, what now, Mum? And she said, read more, read more, read more. Make sure you know everything there is to know about the topic that you are being activated or radicalized, to use a Tucker Carlson word, and then he did that again. And then he said, now what, Mum? What do I do? And Roger Waters' mum said to him this, Roger, do the right thing. You understand the situation. Simple. You're not being, headlined or soundbited or whatever. You've done the research. You've got your knowledge. Now do the right thing. Be a real person, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think you're exemplary. You're exemplary, Brian, of that. Yeah, genuinely. Let me ask you this question because
my hair's standing up, man. Thank you,
bro. Yeah, and let me ask you this because I think it would cross other people's minds. When you serve soup, do you wear poor man uniform or do you just wear the t-shirt you're wearing now?
It's what I wear. I gotta admit, I'm a little bit like the former founder of Apple and the founder of Facebook. If I only have one shirt, my decision's already made.
Yeah.
No, I do. I go down there in my poor man garb because that's just me. If I go down and I spent 7 years trying to change some of our laws in Idaho that protect faith healers. So if you kill your kid with prayer in Idaho, you get a free ride. medical neglect, whatever. They cannot prosecute you. And I spent 7 years lobbying to change our laws. And I would go in there in front of our senators and spit in vinegar just like this. Because again, poor man window cleaning, if I am not the face of poor man window cleaning, if a company does not represent the moreover the morals, the mores of the people running the company, and it doesn't live up to the company culture, you're just a liar.
Nice.
So I go out and I represent who poor man window cleaning is everywhere I go.
Do some people not like you, Brian?
Oh, lots of people don't like me.
I love it.
I mean, if you're genuine, that's going to happen.
Isn't that funny? I mean, it's a weird disconnect of the human experience, you know?
It truly is.
Yeah. And you can't do anything about it, can you? If people don't like you, people don't like you. Because you don't want to modify who you are to be liked by those that naturally don't have an affinity with who you actually are.
Exactly that. And why do I want to spend energy trying to convince somebody that they should like me? I don't want that. It's like everybody says the most important thing is a satisfied customer. And it's not. Ben can clean a window just as good as me. You can clean a window just as good as Ben. And we could probably all be within 5 to 10% of each other. What is important is a customer that likes you. Because anybody can leave the customer satisfied. They're not necessarily going to like anybody.
Wow.
100%.
That's deep. That is deep.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great. So when you're going to put a third vehicle on, and then okay, the primary function is redundancy. So you've got the backup for the two vehicles,
Yes.
and also I guess you've got peaks that you can service the peak without changing the base. Yeah. So the two vehicles are going to run the base.
Yes. The
Somebody
two
rings up and
vehicles will
says,
run the
"Can you do it?"
base. We have the ability to go out and do an emergency clean at an emergency clean rate until we're ready for that one to be full-time in the field. Then we have to get another one and probably a shop, because let's face it, the not in my backyard people really don't want you to have 2 and 3 wrapped vehicles in your driveway.
Well, it's like me.
Yeah.
We're just lucky we haven't heard anything from the HOA yet.
Fortunately, I live in a subdivision that was...
But it's a good thing that I clean the windows for the HOA president in our neighborhood, so he likes me.
Yeah, no, I have been reported several times. You know, I was asked by Perry, are there people who don't like me? I think that there are, in my little subdivision of about 48 houses, I cleaned windows for one of them. And I see competitors in here, so I know they don't like me. I have also been reported to the city for code violations, where one of my neighbors actually went and found... Oh, they went and found a code from the 1960s that's like a subcode of a subcode of a subcode that says that if somebody shows up in a vehicle and leaves in another vehicle, you are running a dispatch. And that is not legal, even though I'm the person leaving with the person.
Yeah.
I got cease and desist orders and all sorts of stuff and had to get that. So there will always be people who don't like you. And if there are people who don't like you, you are, as Roger Waters' mom said, doing the right thing.
Yeah. Hey, when you go to attract people for your new van, whatever, or you've got natural, what if you had to give advice to somebody about attracting customers? You know, like, what do you think right now, 2024? What do you reckon is the easiest, best way to find work? Door
knocking, social media. It's so easy to do it free. Going and standing outside a neighborhood with we do work for food and your business next to the people panhandling, asking for money for nothing. Being genuine, being real, and being able to be found in your community. A lot of people ask, and Perry, it used to be called a pipeline, a target audience, whatever you want to call it. They call it an avatar these days, right?
Yeah, I heard that yesterday.
Okay, so everybody's concerned about their avatar. Who is my target? Okay, that's fine and dandy that you know who your target is. How does your target know who you are?
Yeah.
So you've went out and you've spent all your time researching your target market, building this avatar. You have a cute little cartoon that looks like Pixar of who your client is. Well, if you are not where they are looking, it doesn't matter what you do, you won't be found. That's why as a service industry, you have to service your community, and you have to service your community where your client is going to see you.
Yeah, that's powerful. I've got another one. At some point I was going to, I really love our tools, right? And I'm going to start a window cleaning business here, but there was a time I was going to go back to New Zealand and do it, right? Because we didn't know whether we're going to raise Ollie in New Zealand or we're going to raise him here. So we ultimately settled for here. But if I went back to New Zealand, I still think that, because Harrison's running the Reach It Future of Cleaning, and me and Ben are doing this, enjoying life, and I'm mentoring Harrison, but I still want to do window cleaning and use the tools and everything. But when I was going back to New Zealand, what I thought was, and I'd love to run this by you, is that there's so much government work, local government work, right? And the local government also looks after all of the estates where the people are not, they're poor, basically use the right word. And so they're in estate housing. I don't know what you guys call it there. And I'm talking about houses or terraces, not the big apartment blocks, that you see in the movies and everything, but just basically homes where the government owns the home and the people rent it from the government. What do you call those people?
Non-existent in the U.S. Our
really?
government doesn't do that.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Wow.
No.
Oh my. Oh,
No.
in New Zealand, and the UK, I think in the UK, but certainly in New Zealand, like they're building, hundreds and thousands of homes, and then the poor people go in there and pay the rent, pay way below the market rate rent, but they can afford it.
We have a very small. We have, it's called Section 8, and you can be on that for years before you get accepted.
Right.
We don't have a general well-being in America.
Okay. Yeah, fair call. So and Ben just said the Mormon church has real estate, which they, basically at an affordable rate, make sure that people have got homes, which is the principle of look after the widows and the fatherless. I mean, that's the simple principle of a church doing what they should do with the tithe, right? Just as a side comment. The other idea, there was the guys in the UK and they were cleaning the road signs because in the UK it rains a lot, so they get a lot of algae and mildew and all that. So there were guys who would go out and clean the road signs. There are other guys. I saw a guy the other day who was cleaning playground equipment, so because there's basically this idea of how do you get some of that government work if you've already got your van, you're already set up, you already know how to window cleaning, you're not a baby, right? But you still want to scale, you want to get into commercial or you want to get into something bigger. I often think that if you said to the local government, look, give me a couple of your government buildings and I'll do this for free in the community. You know what I mean? But if the local government has a community attitude, right? But it seems to me like the local government doesn't have this give back mentality that you and that the three of us are talking about.
Not so much over here.
Wow. Okay, we'll scrap that idea.
Which is why we go and help charitable areas. That's why we go and we clean cabins for the cancer kids and the Human Rights Society and stuff.
That's what made me want to come back to it.
Yeah, if there was a way for us to give back like that, we would, but they're just It's
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. 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 Brian, if you were talking to somebody young, just with, let's say they're already established, they've got their vehicle, they already know how to do work, they're already cleaning, 30, 40 hours a week, or more. But they've never been a giver, they, you know what I mean? It's just, they have, all of us, there's just a penny drop moment. So what would you advise them as a place to start? Like, just go and do this. Because, what do you think of the things that can give them the feelings they need?
Your passions. Where do you find your passion? What is your spark? Where is your joy? Then start finding charities that have those inroads, those avenues, because not only will you be helping promote your passions, you'll be finding people who are going to like you because they like similar things. And if you can find a group of people who, even if you disagree on 70-80% of life, if you can find 20 to 30% that you both appreciate, there will be a deeper bond. You will have a fulfillment both in your service to your clients and your service to your community, and you will have self-fulfillment because of what you are creating.
How would you answer if you are married and your wife says, "Don't be stupid"?
Well, baby, you married me, so which one of us is stupid? And she has heard that a time or two.
Yeah, that's a nice flip. Ben, what's your takeaway from chatting like this with Brian?
Oh, Brian has always been, and he doesn't know this, but a back-end mentor. I've always followed Brian, and I get chills when I see him on the road, like when I see him out, like just he's a great, great guy, and I've always known that. But yeah.
That's really amazing. Really, 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 really touching and amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just cover attract, convert. Oh, Brian, let's just talk about your sales. You get a new lead. Do you quote face to face, or do you use Google Earth?
No, we don't. We use Responsibid. The only thing we quote is commercial work because I haven't found a way to easily put it into Responsibid and get accurate pricing. I have found that. So last year, I hired a virtual office because I had my first week that I missed 19 phone calls. And it doesn't matter if you get back to them.
Yep.
Every phone call you miss is a lost sale, period. Yep. They're going to get whoever
it goes to somebody else as well,
Yep. Yes. So being as I am not out of the truck, and even when I am out of the truck, I don't want to spend my time in traffic getting frustrated, driving to people's houses, hoping I get the bid. I personally, as we wear our headphones and we let you know from hello, we're here to work, we do converse. Yep. Don't get me wrong. Our clients absolutely love us. We talk, we're friendly. But we want them to know we're here to work. It's the same thing. I want the clients who don't want you to come to their house. I want the people who go, oh, wow, I got my quote and now I can schedule it myself at midnight. This is sweet. That's who we want as our audience.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's how we have structured it. And we find that we get people who are more technically savvy, people who don't want to be there while we're cleaning, people who want to write us a check and mail it to us, and that's it. And that makes me happy.
Right, the simple business model.
Yes.
In response, what would be your 3 top tips for setting up ResponsiBid so that it works?
Research ResponsiBid. Make sure that whatever you're using for and have your scheduling software already in place, because ResponsiBid is a great tool if you have a scheduling software. We use a field service management. I know Ben has one. It doesn't matter what you use, as long as it's one that is going to work with ResponsiBid. That way you can book and quote through ResponsiBid. Follow all of the classes inside ResponsiBid. Take advantage of the education they're giving you, because if you don't, you're going to mess up. And 3, make sure you set up all the follow-ups, because ResponsiBid isn't just a quoting tool. It is a sales tool. And my laptop's about to die, so if I go off camera, I'm grabbing my charger. The thing about ResponsiBid is, with it being a sales tool, it has follow-ups. Set up all of your follow-ups and make sure that inside your follow-ups, the verbiage that you use is not boilerplate. It's not something that you found on the internet because this is conversions. It's you. It's your words. It comes across as you. It comes across at the 6-month notification instead of whatever boilerplate was in there. Ours says, hey, this is your friendly neighborhood grime fighters. We were happy to help you out improving your outlook 6 months ago. Have they gotten a little cloudy? Because we'd come to clear it up for you. Make it something that they're going to relate to and that they're going to want to respond to.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, you know your stuff, Brian, top to bottom. Well, I'm going to award you the first person who is a Six Sigma specialist.
I gotta say, I'm just saddened that it's 6 sixes instead of 3, Perry. I could have
No, look at you. You're just, I've asked you questions around the clock, and you just really are, the a wonderful example of how life can be, and thinking that in sitting underneath that is, neurological issues, physical issues, some PTSD.
Perry, I had a dear friend who was a lawyer. One day he told me probably one of the best pieces of advice I've ever had. And it was the 3rd time that we had been denied a claim on my motorcycle wreck because it was a workers' comp issue at the time as well. So it was our 3rd time, and I was getting really down. And he looked at me and he said, Brian, everybody says you can't alter reality, but if you change your perspective, you have changed the reality around you. Life is nothing but perspective. Every morning, we have one decision to make. Are we going to be happy and make the world around us better, or are we going to be an asshole? It's just that simple.
Dude, you talk my language. I wake up every morning and I choose to be happy whether my life is happy or not.
Yes, it is an action verb. It is not a descriptor. Yeah. Happy doesn't happen. Happy is an action.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an old indigenous American Indian philosophy, I believe, because I read it, but I don't know. I never spoke to anybody to confirm it. But it's basically the difference between feel, think, do, and do, think, feel. So we are being trained as Western people. I'm going to tell you, it's not the same for the Russians, and it's not the same for the Chinese, and it's not the same for the Vietnamese, and it's not the same for the Thai, and it's not the same for the Filipinos. But in the Western world, we're basically being programmed to feel, then think, then do. And if I don't feel like it, I won't do it. And the book that I read about the indigenous Indian, original inhabitants of North America, they have a do, to think, to feel. Whatever you want to feel, what do you need to do to get that feeling?
Exactly.
And if you want to feel great, go and get a sale, or go and help somebody, or whatever. You can make whatever feelings you want by doing what it is that you need to do to get the feeling.
And while you can make feelings, you can't take feelings to the bank and make money.
There you go.
Only your actions can do something about that.
Right. Actions. Oh, you're a good man. You're full of it. We're going to get you back, I think.
You're not the first person to tell me I'm full of it, Perry.
I should have added one more word. You're full of it. Wisdom. All right, buddy. We have to. I'm so pleased to have met you. Quite incredible. And I'm sure we'll meet you again.
It'd be a pleasure. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I've had genuine laughter. I've had goosebumps and camaraderie. So thank you both.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So what we do to sign out, you can do 2 thumbs, or let me see if I can do this. You can also, if you've got an Apple, look at that.
Look at that.
I don't have an Apple.
I think it's Apple.
Cheap.
That's 1 thumb. There you go. Look at us. And that's lasers.
Lasers.
Look at that. Amazing. All right,
Brian. Well, we appreciate you joining. We really do. We'll see, and I'll catch you on the other side. Yeah,
it sounds good, man. I look forward to it. Let's do lunch sometime.
Yes.
And stay on, Brian. If you've got 5 minutes more, stay on. I'd love to.
I'll stay on.
Yeah. Be great.
All right, guys. Okay. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please message us. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback, and don't forget to message us your guys'. And please share this broadcast. Message us, share it, get it out to the world. So we appreciate everybody joining, and we will catch you on tomorrow's episode.
With it's my good friend Byron Guest with efficiency like you've never seen efficiency before.
Yep. So it'll be a great broadcast, and he actually just messaged me, so we gotta clear that up.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Catch you guys on the next one.
And every single cut that you claim has led you this way. Lay